What's going on, guys? Samuel Bouret here. I'm a cinematographer based out of New York and New Jersey. And today I'm here with Adorama TV, and I'm super excited because I get to shoot with the new Canon EOS R5 C. All right, guys, so on the photo side, the R5C is very similar to the R5. It has a full-frame 45 megapixel CMOS sensor. It has dual pixel CMOS autofocus too. It has 20 frames per second electronic shutter and 12 frames per second mechanical shutter. This is a very capable stills camera, but with the flip of the switch, you see this red button, you see the C, it turns into a true cinema camera. In terms of video capabilities, the R5C shoots up to 8K, 60p, 12-bit cinema raw light internal, up to 4K, 120 frames per second in XF-AVC in full frame. Being that this is a full-fledged cinema EOS camera, it comes with Canon Lock 3, waveform monitor, false color, and zebra patterns. The R5C has an active cooling system for unlimited recording time. Even with the vents right here, it's still the lightest cinema EOS camera I've held. Being that this is such a small cinema camera, they were able to fit a lot of physical features, like HDMI raw output, a dedicated time code port, and a multifunction shoe that can accommodate an XLR microphone adapter like the Tascam CA XLR2D. This camera has a CF Express Type B and an SD card slot. On this shoot, I was able to capture 8K RAW to the CF Express card and 4K XF-AVC to the SD card. And you can also record lightweight proxy files. You can power this camera with the familiar LP E6 NH batteries, but you can also use the older LP E6N or the LP E6 batteries, but with limited capabilities for some functions. You can also power this camera with an optional USB-C or AC adapter. If you ever picked up an R5, the buttons on this camera are identical, but on the R5C, they all serve a dual function. The buttons are labeled for both cinema and stills. There are also 13 assignable buttons. Don't forget that this is an RF mount camera, so even if you're shooting stills or cinema, there's a variety of great glass that you could use. One of the things that I loved about the R5C is the autofocus capabilities. The way it's stuck to my subject, me moving around with the gimbal, shooting at 8K and still have that autofocus, it was just a great experience using it. So when I found out that I was shooting with the R5C, so many ideas came to mind, but I wanted to shoot a dancer, a ballerina, because I knew it was gonna have awesome autofocus and the quality was gonna be insane and I was gonna be able to shoot in 8K, and this is my first time shooting 8K, so I was like, I'm taking advantage of this. So I wanted a plain white background. I wanted to have the dancer in a silhouette kind of situation, and I thought being backlit, like the camera wasn't gonna be able to focus right, but it stuck to her, and I wanted to create this cloning effect, which worked great because I'm able to crop her out, I'm able to zoom in and recompose however I want. So that right there is enough to sell me on this camera. One thing that I do a lot is shoot in slow motion, 120 frames per second. So I wanted my dancer to have this type of fabric that flows in the air, and I captured it at 4K at 120, and how smooth it looked is just surprised me, and the quality of the 4K in this camera full frame was amazing. All right, guys, that's a wrap. I had so much fun shooting with the Canon R5 C. I want to thank Canon and Adorama for giving me the opportunity to shoot with this beast of a camera. If you have any questions about the camera, there's some links below in the description that you could click on, or if you have any comments or questions towards me about my shooting experience, don't forget to leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and I'll catch you next time.